You know, one of the most paralyzing forces in the human experience is the unknown. And yet, paradoxically, it's also the only place where true change can happen. You cannot create a new life from the comfort of the old one. That's not just a poetic statement, that's a psychological and biological reality. The brain is a prediction machine. It thrives on familiarity, it craves the known, and for good reason. Evolutionarily, that kept us alive. But if you want to do something remarkable, if you want to become someone you have never been, you have to override that evolutionary programming. You have to step willingly, even voluntarily, into the unknown. And that is where most people stop. Because the unknown is terrifying. It's the realm of chaos. It's where you have no control, where your outcomes aren't guaranteed, and where your old self, the version of you that finds safety in routine, starts to fight for survival. That part of you will scream out with every excuse in the book, what if I fail? What if I look foolish? What if I lose everything? These are not just passing thoughts. They're deep emotional reactions rooted in our limbic system. The body resists change because it equates the unknown with threat. But here's the irony if you're feeling stuck. If you're unfulfilled, if you're repeating the same cycles over and over again, then the known is already a kind of suffering. It's familiar, sure, but it's not meaningful. It's predictable, but it's not growth. And when your soul, or your psyche, if you prefer that term, knows you're capable of more, that quiet suffering becomes unbearable. At some point, you have to ask yourself a fundamental question. Do you want to be safe, or do you want to be free? Now, stepping into the unknown doesn't mean you become reckless. It doesn't mean you abandon all structure or planning. It means you move forward even when the outcome isn't guaranteed. You take action even when clarity hasn't fully arrived. You stop waiting for the perfect moment and instead realize that the perfect moment is the moment you decide to act. The moment you choose faith over fear. And when I say faith, I'm not necessarily talking about religious belief. Although for many people that framework can be incredibly grounding, I'm talking about a kind of psychological faith. The belief that if you show up consistently with intention, the path will begin to unfold. That your brain and body will start adapting to your new identity, your new goals, your new reality. This is what Joe Dispenza means when he says you have to become comfortable in the unknown. Because it's only in that uncertain space where your old neural patterns are disrupted, where your body no longer runs the show and your conscious mind can take the lead. In the unknown, you're no longer reliving the past, you're authoring the future. But it's not easy. It's not supposed to be. Every cell in your body will try to drag you back to the familiar. Your brain will look for reasons to hesitate. And the truth is, courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision that something else is more important. That growth is more meaningful than comfort. That purpose is more powerful than predictability. The Stoics understood this. They trained themselves to confront discomfort, to walk willingly toward what they feared, not recklessly, but consciously. They believed that in hardship, in the unknown, lies the opportunity for virtue to emerge. And what is virtue? Really, it's strength of character. It's the capacity to act rightly in the face of difficulty. That's where your transformation is forged, not in theory, but in action. Not in certainty, but in risk. When you avoid the unknown, you're not protecting yourself, you're postponing your potential, you're denying yourself the opportunity to become the person you were designed to be. Because potential doesn't live in the known. It lives in the places you've never dared to go. The conversations you've never had, the choices you've never made, and the visions you've never believed you were worthy of pursuing. So you force yourself to take action. Not because you feel ready, because waiting to feel ready is a lie your comfort zone tells to keep you small. You act despite the fear. You step through the uncertainty, and you begin to condition your nervous system to tolerate that edge, to normalize the discomfort of growth. And as you do, you become stronger. Not just more successful. Stronger, more capable, more grounded, more alive. That's what transformation really is. It's not a sudden epiphany. It's 1,000 small acts of courage. It's forcing yourself to take one more step into the unfamiliar until the unfamiliar becomes the new familiar. Until your body no longer reacts with fear but responds with confidence. Until your mind stops doubting and starts believing. And eventually, if you keep going, there comes a moment when you look back and you no longer recognize the person you used to be. Not because you've become someone different, but because you've finally become someone real, someone intentional. someone powerful. So if there's something calling you, an idea, a goal, a better version of yourself, listen to it. Not later, not when it's convenient, right now. Because the unknown is waiting, and in that unknown is everything you've ever wanted to become. Nothing changes until you do, and you don't change by staying where it's safe. You change by stepping into the fire and choosing to walk forward anyway.